Chris Hale had everything a man could want. Money? More than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. Success? His name was in newspapers and magazines. Respect? When he walked into a room, everyone stopped talking to look at him. But there was one thing missing. One hole in his perfect life that all his money couldn't fill. 7 months ago his wife disappeared. Just vanished. Like she was never there at all. And tonight he was about to see her again. But not in the way he ever imagined. Hello everyone, welcome to our story. Before we continue, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Are you in New York? Jamaica? Maybe South Africa or Canada? We'd love to hear from you. The restaurant was called The Crown, and it was the fanciest place in the whole city. Crystal lights sparkled from the ceiling. The floors were so shiny you could see your face in them. Everyone who ate there was rich. Movie stars, business owners, politicians. Chris Hale walked through the front door at exactly 8 o'clock. His girlfriend Vanessa walked beside him in a red dress that sparkled. Mr. Hale. The restaurant manager rushed over. Your table is ready, sir. The best table in the house. They sat down near the window. Chris immediately pulled out his phone. Vanessa frowned. Can you put that away? Just for tonight? I'm working, Chris said. You're always working, Vanessa replied. Chris finally put his phone down. He was thinking about 7 months ago. About coming home to an empty apartment. About his wife who disappeared. Lily. No. He pushed the thought away. She left him. She didn't care. End of story. Just then someone approached their table. Chris didn't look up. He was studying the menu. Good evening. Welcome to The Crown. Can I start you with something to drink? The voice was quiet, polite, professional. But something about it made Chris's whole body freeze. He knew that voice. Slowly, very slowly, Chris lifted his eyes from the menu. And his entire world stopped. Standing next to his table, holding a notepad, wearing a black waitress uniform, was his wife, Lily. But that wasn't the most shocking part. She was pregnant. Very, very pregnant. Time seemed to stop. The restaurant noise faded away. Chris couldn't breathe. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. Lily stood there, her face showing no emotion. Her hand held the pen steady above her notepad. For a moment, just one terrible, frozen moment, their eyes met. Chris saw the wife he'd lost. He saw pain he didn't understand. He saw a stranger wearing a familiar face. But most of all, he saw her belly, round and obvious under her uniform. She's pregnant. The thought hit him like a punch. Whose baby? When did this happen? But deep inside he already knew the answer. Chris. Vanessa's voice broke through the fog. What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Chris couldn't speak. His mouth opened but no words came out. Lily's face remained perfectly calm. She stood there like a professional waitress, waiting for his order as if they were strangers. As if she hadn't been his wife. As if she hadn't disappeared without a word. Sir? Lily said, her voice steady. What can I get you to drink? That voice. That same gentle voice that used to say, I love you. Now it was cold. Distant. Vanessa looked between Chris and Lily, confusion on her face. Do you two know each other? Chris finally found his voice. It came out rough, almost broken. Lily? For just a second, something flickered in Lily's eyes. Pain maybe. Or fear. But then it was gone. I'll come back when you're ready to order, she said quietly and started to turn away. Wait. Chris stood up so fast his chair scraped loudly. People at nearby tables turned to look. Lily stopped but didn't turn around. What are you doing here? Chris demanded. His hands were shaking. Where have you been? Why did you leave? What? His eyes dropped to her belly. Are you? Chris, sit down, Vanessa hissed, grabbing his arm. People are staring. But Chris didn't care. He didn't care about anything except the woman standing in front of him. Lily slowly turned back to face him. Her eyes were tired. There were shadows under them, like she hadn't slept in months. She looked thinner except for her belly. Her hands had small cuts and burns, the kind you get from working hard. I'm working, sir, she said, putting emphasis on that last word. Please sit down, sir. She called him sir, like he was nobody to her. The manager appeared quickly. Is there a problem here? No problem, Lily said immediately. I was just taking their order. Chris felt like he was drowning. His wife, his missing wife, was standing here pretending they didn't know each other. Vanessa tugged his arm harder. Chris, you're embarrassing me. Sit down. The manager looked at Chris. Mr. Hale, is everything all right? Everyone in the restaurant was watching now. Chris had two choices. Make a scene or sit down and pretend everything was normal. His legs felt weak. Slowly he sank back into his chair. "Everything's fine," he said, though his voice sounded hollow. The manager nodded. "Perhaps another server should take this table?" "Yes," Lily said quickly. "I'll send someone else." She walked away, moving between tables, disappearing into the kitchen. Chris watched her go, his mind screaming, "Come back. Don't leave again. Tell me what happened." But she was gone. Vanessa leaned close, her voice sharp with anger. "Who was that? How do you know her?" She stopped, her eyes widening. "Oh my God. Is that your ex-wife?" Chris didn't answer. He was still staring at the kitchen door. 7 months. 7 months he'd wondered where she was. 7 months he'd told himself she didn't love him. And here she was, working as a waitress, pregnant, looking at him like he was a stranger. Vanessa's face turned red. "That's her, isn't it? Your ex-wife who left you. And she's pregnant." Her voice got louder. "Is that your baby?" "I don't know," Chris whispered. "You don't know?" Vanessa stood up, her hands shaking. "I can't believe this. You brought me here to the fanciest restaurant in the city, and your pregnant ex-wife is our waitress." "Vanessa, I didn't know she would be here." "I don't care." Vanessa grabbed her purse. "This is humiliating. Everyone is staring at us." "At me? Please just sit down. Let me explain." "Explain what? That you're still in love with her?" "I saw the way you looked at her, Chris. Like she was the only person in the world." Tears filled Vanessa's eyes, but they were angry tears. "I'm leaving. Don't call me Vanessa." But she was already walking away, her heels clicking loudly on the marble floor. Every person in the restaurant watched her storm out. Chris sat there alone at the table. His $20 million business deal suddenly felt meaningless. His expensive suit, his gold watch, his power, none of it mattered. The only thing that mattered was behind that kitchen door. He waited 5 minutes. Then 10. A different waiter came and asked if he wanted to order. Chris waved him away. Finally, he couldn't wait anymore. Chris stood up and walked toward the kitchen. The manager tried to stop him. "Sir, customers aren't allowed in the kitchen." "Get out of my way," Chris said in a voice that made the manager step back. Chris pushed through the kitchen doors. Inside it was hot and loud. Cooks were shouting orders. Pans were sizzling. Steam filled the air. And there in the corner sat Lily on a small stool. Her face was in her hands. Her shoulders were shaking. She was crying. Chris's heart broke seeing her like this. He walked toward her slowly. The kitchen noise seemed to fade away. "Lily," he said softly. Her head snapped up. When she saw him, she quickly wiped her eyes and stood up. "You can't be back here," she said, her voice shaky. "This area is for staff only." "I don't care about the rules," Chris said. "We need to talk." "There's nothing to talk about." Lily tried to walk past him, but Chris gently caught her arm. "Please. Just 5 minutes." Lily pulled her arm away. "Let go of me." A large cook looked over at them. "Is this guy bothering you, Lily?" "It's fine, Marcus," Lily said quickly. He's leaving." But Chris didn't move. He just stood there looking at her. Really looking at her. She was so different from the woman he remembered. That woman had soft hands and wore nice dresses. That woman smiled easily and laughed often. This woman looked exhausted. Her uniform was too big on her thin frame. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. There were dark circles under her eyes. But she was still beautiful to him. Still the woman he'd loved. Still his wife. "The baby," Chris said quietly. "Is it mine?" Lily's jaw tightened. "That's none of your business." "None of my business?" Chris's voice rose. "You're my wife." "Was," Lily corrected him, her eyes flashing with anger. "I was your wife. Past tense. We're still married. You never divorced me. You just disappeared." "And whose fault was that?" The words came out bitter, angry. Chris stepped back, confused. "My fault? You're the one who left. You're the one who ran away without even a note." Lily laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "You really don't know, do you? You really have no idea." "No idea about what?" "Lily, I came home and you were gone. I searched everywhere for you. I called everyone. I thought something terrible had happened to you." "Something terrible did happen to me," Lily said, her voice breaking. "But you were too busy to notice." The kitchen manager approached them. "I'm sorry, but you both need to take this outside. We have a restaurant to run." Lily nodded. "I'm going back to work." "No," Chris said firmly. "You're not. We're leaving. Right now. I can't just leave. I need this job. I'll pay you whatever you would have made tonight. Double. Triple. I don't care. Chris pulled out his wallet. Please, Lily. Just talk to me. That's all I'm asking. Lily stared at the money in his hand. Chris saw something flash across her face. Anger? Disgust? You think money fixes everything, don't you? She said quietly. You think you can just throw cash at a problem and make it go away? That's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. Lily took off her apron and handed it to the kitchen manager. I'm taking my break. She walked out the back door of the kitchen. Chris followed her into a small alley behind the restaurant. It was dark and smelled like garbage. A single light bulb hung above the door. Lily leaned against the brick wall, her hand on her belly. She looked tired. So tired. 5 minutes, she said. That's all you get. Chris didn't know where to start. There were so many questions. So many things he needed to know. Why did you leave? He finally asked. Lily looked up at the dark sky. Because I had to. That's not an answer. It's the only answer you're getting. The baby, Chris tried again. Please. Just tell me. Is it mine? Lily was quiet for a long moment. Then very softly she said, yes. Chris felt like someone had punched all the air out of his lungs. Baby. His baby. He was going to be a father. When? He asked. When did you find out? About a week before I left. Chris's mind raced, counting backwards. So you've been pregnant for 7 months? Almost 8 now. 8 months. She'd been carrying his child for 8 months and he didn't even know. Why didn't you tell me? Chris's voice cracked. Why didn't you come to me? We could have figured it out together. Lily laughed again, that same bitter sound. Figured it out? With your mother involved? There was nothing to figure out. My mother? What does she have to do with this? Lily pushed off the wall and looked at him directly. Her eyes were hard now. Angry. Your mother has everything to do with this, Chris. She's the reason I left. She's the reason I've been hiding for 7 months. She's the reason I'm working as a waitress instead of... She stopped herself. Chris shook his head. My mother? That doesn't make sense. She never even liked you, but... Never liked me? Lily interrupted. Chris, she hated me. She made my life miserable every single day. And you never noticed. You were always too busy with work, with meetings, with deals. What are you talking about? The lunches where she forgot to invite me. The parties where she introduced you to other women right in front of me. The comments about my clothes, my background, my family. Lily's voice shook. The time she offered me $1 million to leave you. Chris froze. She what? You heard me. She offered me money to disappear from your life. She said I wasn't good enough for you. That I never would be. When did this happen? 3 months after we got married. We had lunch, just the two of us. She smiled at me across the table and told me to take the money and go. Chris felt sick. And you didn't tell me? I tried. Lily's voice rose. I tried so many times. But every time I started to talk about your mother, you defended her. She's just protective, you'd say? She means well. You always took her side. That's not true. It is true. Tears streamed down Lily's face now. You chose her over me every single time, Chris. Every single time. Chris wanted to argue, but the words died in his throat. Because deep down he knew she was right. How many times had Lily tried to talk to him about his mother? How many times had he brushed her off, changed the subject, told her she was overreacting? When I found out I was pregnant, Lily continued, her voice quieter now, I was so happy. I thought maybe this would change things. Maybe you'd finally see me. Really see me. I did see you. No, you didn't. You saw what you wanted to see. A wife who looked good at parties. Someone to come home to. But you never really saw me. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. I told your mother about the baby before I could tell you. She came to the house while you were at work. I was so excited I thought maybe she'd be happy. Maybe this would fix things between us. Lily's voice dropped to almost a whisper. She told me she would take my baby away from me. She said she had lawyers, power, connections. She said no judge would let someone like me raise a Hale child. She said she'd make sure I never saw my baby again. Chris felt like the ground was disappearing beneath his feet. No, he said. No, my mother wouldn't, she couldn't. But even as he said it, he knew it was possible. His mother was ruthless in business. She destroyed companies, ruined careers, crushed anyone who got in her way. Why wouldn't she do the same to protect what she saw as her family's legacy? I was terrified, Lily said. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I kept imagining her taking my baby from my arms. So I left. I left to protect our child. Chris leaned against the wall, feeling dizzy. Everything he thought he knew was wrong. I looked for you, he said quietly. I hired people. I called everyone. Your parents said they didn't know where you were. I made them promise not to tell you, Lily said. They wanted to, but I begged them. I told them I wasn't safe. Safe? Lily, you were safe with me. I would have protected you. Lily shook her head sadly. Would you? Or would you have believed your mother when she said I was lying? When she said I was crazy? When she said I was trying to trap you? Chris opened his mouth to argue, but he couldn't. Because he honestly didn't know what he would have done. I've been living in a tiny apartment across the city, Lily said. One room. No heat sometimes. I work 3 jobs to pay rent and save money for the baby. 3 jobs. Chris felt sick. But you're pregnant. You shouldn't be working at all. You should be resting, eating well, seeing doctors. You think I don't know that? Lily's voice rose again. You think I want to be on my feet 12 hours a day? You think I want to live in a place where I can hear rats in the walls at night? I'm doing the best I can, Chris. She started crying harder now. Her whole body shook. Without thinking, Chris stepped forward and tried to hug her. Don't touch me, Lily said, pushing him away. You don't get to comfort me. Not after everything. I didn't know, Chris said desperately. I swear, Lily, I didn't know what my mother did. If I had known. But you should have known. Lily shouted. You should have seen how she treated me. You should have noticed I was getting sadder and quieter. You should have asked me what was wrong instead of just assuming everything was fine. She was right. About all of it. Chris had been so focused on his work, his success, his empire, that he'd been blind to what was happening in his own home. I'm sorry, he whispered. God, Lily, I'm so sorry. Lily wiped her eyes. Sorry doesn't change anything. Let me help you now. Please. Let me take care of you and the baby. I don't need your help. Yes, you do, Chris said gently. Look at you. You're exhausted. You're too thin. When's the last time you saw a doctor? Lily bit her lip. I can't afford a doctor. What? Chris felt panic rising in his chest. Lily, you're 8 months pregnant. You need medical care. What if something's wrong? What if the baby... Don't, Lily said sharply. Don't make me more scared than I already am. Chris saw it then. Behind all the anger, behind the wall she'd built up, she was terrified. She was alone, pregnant, poor, and scared. And it was his fault. Come home with me, Chris said. Tonight. Right now. I'll get you the best doctors. The best food. Whatever you need. I can't go back there, Lily said. Your mother. I'll handle my mother. You don't understand. She's dangerous, Chris. She meant what she said. She'll take our baby. No, she won't, Chris said firmly. I won't let her. I promise you, Lily. I will protect you and our child. Even if that means going against my own mother. Lily looked at him, searching his face for the truth. You said that before, she said quietly. On our wedding day. You promised to protect me. But you didn't. The words cut deeper than any knife. You're right, Chris said. I failed you. I was a terrible husband. I was blind and stupid and selfish. But I'm asking you, begging you, to give me one more chance. Let me do this right. I don't trust you, Lily said. I know. And I'll spend every day earning that trust back. But please, Lily, don't do this alone anymore. Our baby deserves better than a one-room apartment with rats in the walls. You deserve better. Lily's hand went to her belly. She closed her eyes and Chris saw tears squeeze out from under her eyelids. I'm so tired, she whispered. I know. I'm scared all the time. I know. I don't know if I can do this. Chris took a careful step closer. This time she didn't push him away. You don't have to do it alone anymore, he said softly. Let me help. Please. For a long moment, Lily didn't move. Then slowly she nodded. Okay, she said. But we do this my way. I'm not going back to your apartment. Not yet. Not until I know your mother can't